In a recent episode of Coronation Street, fans were given a resolution to one of the show's most intense and troubling storylines: the fate of Rowan Cunliffe. Rowan, the enigmatic and manipulative leader of a shadowy organization known as the Institute, was finally brought to justice following weeks of tension and mounting evidence against him. This episode not only confirmed Rowan's legal fate, but also gave viewers a closer look at the complex relationships between several key characters, including Nick Tilsley, Leanne Battersby, and Toya Battersby. The episode kicked off with Nick Tilsley, Ben Price, taking a bold step to bring Rowan to justice by handing over incriminating evidence to DS Lisa Swain. The evidence included a notebook that detailed Rowan's coercive tactics and blackmail schemes, which had ensnared several residents of Weatherfield. Nick's decision to turn over the notebook came after Leanne Battersby, Jane Danson, discovered damning files on Rowan's laptop. Leanne had vowed to use those files to get Amy Barlow her investment money back, and now it seemed like the pieces were finally falling into place. As the episode unfolded, Leanne and her sister, Toya Battersby, Georgia Taylor, were still at odds. Their relationship had been severely strained after Leanne found out about Toya's affair with Nick, a betrayal that had left Leanne devastated. Despite this, Toya had been trying to make amends with her sister, even going as far as to reject a possible romantic future with Nick, not wanting to hurt Leanne any further. However, their tense interactions showed that forgiveness was still a long way off. The strain between the sisters was palpable until young Sam Blakeman, Jude Riordan, stepped in, urging them to set aside their differences for the sake of family. Sam's plea for unity came as a much-needed reminder for Leanne and Toya to focus on what mattered most, their bond as sisters. Reluctantly, Toya asked Leanne if they could be civil for Sam's sake. This small gesture marked the beginning of a thaw in their icy relationship. In a symbolic moment, the two sisters teamed up to prepare food for Billy Mayhew, Daniel Brocklebank, following the death of his partner Paul Foreman, Peter Ash. Just as things between Toya and Leanne seemed to be improving, Nick arrived with shocking news. He announced that the police had officially charged Rowan Cunliffe with blackmail and fraud. "The police have been in touch," Nick revealed. "Rowan has been charged with blackmail and fraud. He's going to go down." While Nick saw Rowan's arrest as a major victory, Leanne was less optimistic. She expressed frustration that Rowan was essentially becoming a fall guy, while the Institute, the cult-like organization he led, would likely continue its sinister activities. "You were never going to bring them all down. But Rowan's arrest is not nothing," Nick reminded her, trying to offer some perspective. Still, Leanne couldn't shake the feeling that the Institute had gotten away with too much and would continue to prey on vulnerable individuals. Despite Nick's attempt to console Leanne, the sisters remained cold towards him. Nick noticed the gradual warming between Leanne and Toya, but any hope he had of joining them for a drink to toast Rowan's arrest was dashed. Leanne and Toya, while beginning to repair their relationship with each other, were not ready to include Nick in their reconciliation. For Nick, this was yet another painful reminder of the consequences of his actions and the rift he had created between the Battersby sisters. As the episode came to a close, viewers were left to ponder whether Nick could ever make amends with Leanne. While Rowan's arrest marked the end of one chapter, the emotional fallout from Nick's betrayal and Toya's affair was far from over. Leanne's hurt and anger were still fresh, and though she was starting to rebuild her bond with Toya, it was clear that trust with Nick would take much longer to restore. For now, Coronation Street fans will have to wait and see if Nick can find a way back into Leanne's good graces, or if his relationship with her is permanently fractured. But with Rowan behind bars and the Institute's influence shaken, there is at least some relief for Leanne and her loved ones, even if the battle against the cult isn't over yet.